It was the kind of clip that spreads like wildfire grainy footage. An outraged audience, a high-profile celebrity walking off live television after being ambushed by a late-night host. Denzel Washington walks off Stephen Colbert's show. After faith debates screamed the headlines, TikToks were made. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Millions watched what they believed was the most explosive moment in late-night history. There was just one problem. It never happened. Now, the entire interview was fabricated. And what's more shocking than the confrontation itself is how easily millions of people believed it was real. It started innocently enough. Few obscure YouTube channels posted clips stitched together with dramatic narration showing Denzel Washington supposedly storming off Stephen Colbert's stage after a tense exchange about religion and politics. The video quality was intentionally degraded enough to simulate a shaky phone recording from the audience. But the captions were crisp, the editing sharp, and the tone unmistakable. This was a takedown. Within hours, people were sharing it, like gospel. Finally, someone stands up to the woke agenda. One comment read, "Colbert exposed for who he really is," said another. But as the views piled up, so did the questions. When did this interview happen? Why wasn't it trending in the actual news cycle? And why had no major outlet covered it? That's when journalists at the Burlington Gazette decided to look closer. What they found was stunning. There was no record of any such interview. No air date, no official footage. No promotional appearance by Denzel Washington on Colbert's show during that time frame. The set lighting didn't match. The reactions didn't add up. The dialogue was far too polished, more like a screenplay than an unscripted confrontation. And that's exactly what it was. A script. A cleverly crafted fictional drama designed to pass as reality. And millions had bought it. But why? Why would someone go through the trouble of scripting, editing, and publishing a fake late-night meltdown? The answer, in a word, attention. In a platform economy, virality is currency. Controversy sells. Rage spreads. And if you can trigger people's emotions, whether through outrage, admiration, or tribal loyalty, you've got them. These aren't traditional hoaxes with prankish goals. They're engineered content bombs created to farm clicks, shares, and ad revenue from a polarized internet. No need for CGI or deepfakes. It's just a voiceover, some blurred footage, and a believable enough story. And it worked almost too well. For many viewers, the confrontation confirmed everything they already believed about Hollywood. Media bias and the culture war. Denzel Washington, long admired for his values and faith, became a stand-in for a kind of principled resistance. Stephen Colbert, known for his biting satire and progressive leanings, was cast as the ideological bully. The characters were familiar. The roles perfectly scripted. Viewers weren't just consuming content, they were watching their beliefs play out in dramatic fashion. And they loved it. But when fiction poses as fact, there are consequences. Real people get smeared. Reputations get tangled in narratives they had nothing to do with. And the audience, often just looking for truth, ends up misled. Denzel Washington never stormed off Colbert's stage, never called him swine. There was no viral takedown, no broken professionalism, no public meltdown. It was all made up. And yet the emotional impact felt real. That's the danger. The line between performance and reality is getting thinner. And when it breaks, trust goes with it. So how do you spot the fakes? First, always ask, where's the source? If a dramatic moment like this truly happened, major outlets would be on it within hours. ABC, CNN, Variety, even TMZ, none of them ran anything.
Second check.
The platform. If you're seeing it first on TikTok or from a tiny channel with a handful of subscribers, be skeptical. Viral doesn't mean verified. And third, listen closely. Does the dialogue sound natural? Or does it sound ... too good, too structured? Like, it's trying to be a movie rather than a moment. Because that's what this really was, a performance. And ironically, it wasn't by Denzel or Colbert, by the content creators crafting these faux showdowns. They understand something powerful. We live in an outrage economy. And nothing captures attention faster than a righteous celebrity walk-off. especially when it taps into real frustrations about censorship, faith, media manipulation, or Hollywood hypocrisy. The fake becomes a kind of emotional truth, and for some, that's enough. But this raises a deeper question. Why are we so quick to believe these things? Maybe it's because we want to. Maybe we're so starved for authenticity, so distrustful of institutions, that when someone appears to speak raw truth on a polished stage, we cling to a trio or not. Maybe we've reached a point where feeling like something is true matters more than whether it actually is, and that's a dangerous place to be. Because when we can't tell the difference between fiction and reality, anyone can rewrite the narrative. Anyone can become a hero or a villain with a few lines of text and a dramatic clip. And in that world, dignity gets edited, truth becomes optional, and the audience becomes the easiest one to fool. The backlash to this fake interview has already begun. Viewers who realize they were misled have started calling out the channels responsible. Journalists are warning about the rise of AI-assisted misinformation. Even fans of both Denzel and Colbert have admitted that the clip, while compelling, felt a little too clean. Some called it fan fiction for angry adults. But the damage was done. The views keep climbing. As for the creators behind the viral video, many remain anonymous. That's the nature of the internet now. You don't need a network. A laptop, a voiceover mic, and a good enough lie. But every fake story like this chips away at something bigger, our ability to trust what we see. And once that's gone, even the real stories start to feel suspect. So the next time you see a clip that feels too dramatic, too perfect, too tailored to your beliefs, pause. Ask questions. Look deeper. Because sometimes the most viral moments are also the most fictional. And in the case of Denzel Washington and Stephen Colbert, it's the only thing more revealing than the fake confrontation, was how quickly the world believed it.